but we got through it. We're still here.
All right, Chairwoman, thanks for stopping by today. After the week and month that we've had, you must be breathing a pretty big sigh of relief.
Yes, got over the largest hurdle of the year, which is to pass our budget, and we were able to do so with our ability to move forward and get some good things done along the way.
It was a struggle. It always is this time of year. What do you take away about the finished product that is the FY23 budget?
Yes, we're going to be able to do some things that I think are going to help shore up our organization. We're going to be better supporting capital maintenance in the county, which has been deferred, and also supporting what I believe is deferred support of our employees, and in implementing the class and pay analysis, which we've been undertaking for the past year. We'll be able to pay our employees market competitive salaries, which will, I think, translate in better service for our citizens and our stakeholders.
The general fund budget increases by more than $50 million just solely on the millage rate stays the same, but the real estate market, primarily residential, but commercial real estate as well. And as you mentioned, about a half of that goes to the classification and pay study that's being implemented. And given the work sessions we've had since last fall, how important of a step is that to keep this county going?
Yes, I mean, it's extremely important for our organization, but organizations nationally, as we all face a very broad workforce shortage. We have not been immune to that in the county. And in fact, several of our agencies have shared that they've been down upwards of 30 to 40% of employees. And that does impact quality of service as people are having to take on more work and, with limited resources. And so I believe that this will help to, again, show our employees that we are mindful of their ability to be able to help us keep county first and to provide the excellent service that our residents deserve.
We had a chuckle when one of the residents who came to speak said basically, just shut down the county. If you don't want to do anything about employees, we just need to shut down the county.
We can get smaller, shut the thing down. Put out your own fires, okay? Arrest your own speeders.
We were chuckling about that, but there's an element of truth to that. Because as you mentioned, road maintenance, for instance, 40% vacancies. We had to hire an outside company and spend taxpayers' money to do that, just to do the elementary stuff that the county government should be doing.
Exactly, which can end up costing us more. At the end of the day, Cobb County will always herald the fact that we're an efficient organization, but there's a fine line to being efficient and also getting diminishing return for that efficiency. And I think we crossed that line, but we are now getting back over it again so we can get back to proper staffing levels, so we can get to the needed service levels again that I continue to harp that our residents expect of us.
There was a lot of concern expressed about, doing this when we're in an uncertain economic future. I think the finance director, Bill Volkman, answered that pretty well, but that's something that we discuss when we go down this road.
That is true, and that is why I think it was wise for us to keep the millage rate flat. The county tends to lag in the impact of the economy on our coffers, and we may not know the impact of it until a year or two out. And if we were to cut our millage rate down, we might be in a position where we'd have to end up making cuts that could happen in the future. So I think it was wise for us to budget in a way where we could have a healthy reserves in case something does happen. But, if things were to be challenged in the future, that would, to me, drive people to depend on our services more. And even though economic climate is uncertain, what is certain is people will still always expect for the right-of-ways to be clear. People will expect to have, water running through their taps. People will expect Cobb County to provide the level of service that we've always provided, whether it's a good economy or a challenged one.
And one thing that's interesting, I sit in all these meetings, you sit in more meetings than I do, but you hear the challenge that the departments have in this economy. For instance, we're building a new police precinct, number 6, and the budget that we set out for that to build out that building doesn't work anymore. Everything's gotten so much more expensive. Now we can only partially build that building. And it's those kind of pressures, I think, that are lost on a lot of people out in the community.
That's true, but that's reality. You never know what may happen, but that doesn't mean that you can't still move forward. And, 2, 3 years from now, prayerfully, we'll be in a better situation and we'll have a product that will be able to provide better public safety for our citizens, which is what drove that amenity going there in the first place. So, I certainly can empathize with those that want us to be able to tighten our belt and do things differently. But the reality is there will always be a constant expectation that our government will be responsive to our citizens' needs and interests. And to do that, we've got to keep moving things forward. So say something we didn't talk about was the new minimum salary of the county, which was certainly a significant topic of interest. But I think when we consider the climate that we're in and all of the economic stressors, those that are feeling the greatest burden of that are going to be at the lower end of our economic strata. And those are going to be those who are paid the least. And so we had opportunity to raise our minimum salary or minimum wage to $17 an hour. That equates to about a $35,000 a year salary, which is still, a tough salary, but it's certainly one that residents will be better able to live on, or our employees will. And I think if we support our residents and their ability to earn a living, again, that all translates to better service to our citizens.
As communications director, one of the things that's kind of close to my heart is just really the state of public discourse, which has gotten, I will just use the word difficult in recent years. And there's a lot of folks that have been talking, primarily the same group at our meetings, who I think feel like they are not being heard. But we are hearing them.
We're hearing them. We're hearing them loud and clear, but we want to hear them with respect. And I think as we give respect, that respect is deserved of our board. And so I think we're at a point where we need to be encouraging civil discourse, because that's going to be the best environment in which we all can be heard.
We've been focusing on the benefit to the employees that was passed in the FY23 budget, but that was less than half of the increase. You mentioned that there's other things in there that you have highlighted.
Certainly. For one thing, I just want to reemphasize that the support of our employees translates to better support of our citizens. So I don't look at those things as being disconnected. But there's certainly some things that we'll be able to do with the budget that we passed. We'll be able to increase our crews that maintain our right-of-ways. We'll have more code enforcement officers to respond to constituent requests and concerns. We'll be able to better oversee our purchasing card program to make sure that we're being good stewards of the taxpayers' money. Also, we'll be implementing a disparity study to see how we can better engage women, minority-owned, and disabled veteran-owned businesses in our procurement processes. There are just a lot of perks that come with this budget that I know that our residents are going to be the ultimate beneficiary of, and I feel very good about our ability to move forward as a county.
Is there any thought about changing the way we do the budget millage rate? Because it is a climactic meeting when we do both of those at the same time.
Yes. You're right, but there was a disconnect also when we separated the millage from the budget, because they're interrelated. If there's anything that I think I would love to change that I can, is the fact that if you keep your millage rate flat, that is still considered a tax increase, but that's neither here or there for today. So it does make for a longer meeting, but I do see the benefit in us bringing those two hearings together.
So we're taping this on Friday. The schools start in Cobb County on Monday. And I know you're a parent. It's an exciting and somewhat apprehensive time for everybody. But it also means it's time to start thinking about the Youth Commission again that you have started.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes, it's back to school time, ready or not, here they come. But one thing that I'm very excited about that you shared is the Youth Commission. This will be our second Youth Commission that we've had, and applications will be out in August. So we encourage any high school student in Cobb County to apply, whether you are in our high schools, our public high schools, you're homeschooled, you're in private school. If you're a high school age student, grades 9 through 11, and you live in the county, please apply. We've had a great diversity of students from across the county that helped us to be able to see the value in our young people and their energy and their interest in local government. And I look forward to us doing that again and seeing just how great of an opportunity we have to better engage young people within our county.
Remember the class last year, I was just surprised how even after their official duties were done, they still wanted to be engaged. They felt like they were part of our county government.
Exactly. You know, I think it's a misnomer when people say that our young people are not sociable, that they don't care about things that are in their community. Many of them would reach out to me after class to figure out what more they could do. I've had a number of them shadow me. Several of them reached out to departments directly to see what they can learn. They were so enthusiastic about what was going on in local government, and they were able to ask questions and see things in a different light. And, you know, I knew things were going to be a little bit different when I walked in a group of students and found myself being a part of a TikTok video of one of our trainings. So I think they bring a different level of energy and excitement to what we do at the county.
All right, speaking of energy and excitement, we're bringing back the International Festival after a pandemic delay of a couple of years. That's always that was a fun event in 2019, and I know you're happy it's back.
I am. It was an exciting event. You know, our inaugural one was 3 years ago, and little did we know how much interest we would have in that event. I think it garnered about 3,500 patrons, and we're looking forward to doing even better this year. You're going to see countries represented from around the world, and these are people that live right here within our county. And it's a great opportunity to have fun, to learn, and to see the value of our diversity, which I believe is our county strength.
And my favorite's the food, but I know there's a lot more than the food that goes on.
Oh, yes, the food is great, but the performances are as great. And I look forward to seeing who's going to get to be on the stage this year.
Something that I know is on your mind, the board's mind, and people certainly in the south part of the county is the cityhood vote in November for Mableton. And I know we're going to start the community discussion real soon.
It's already started. In fact, when we had the other cityhood measures arise, we did have questions from residents who were in the proposed city of Mableton. However, our focus was on the referendum in May, which considered the other cityhood movements. So I'm very fortunate that our county commissioner, Monique Sheffield, will be initiating a community forum so that we can talk about the cityhood movement. And I think residents should expect to hear more in the month of August. I believe it's set for August 17th. And hope that they come out and have opportunity to ask questions and learn from the proponents and the county, our perspective on how cityhood could impact our county and the residents that live there. But I also want to share that people don't have to wait until that meeting. We still have the website up that you created, which is cobbcounty.org/cityhood. Yep. And so I just want to encourage residents to please go there. A lot of the questions that you may have may already be answered online.
Yeah. And you mentioned that there's already been a lot of discussion. I know Commissioner Sheffield in particular has been talking to people on both sides, and you know, a lot of those questions are being answered, but I think having a community forum just kind of airs those things out in one room and one setting.
I agree.
Yeah. Speaking of community forums, you finished a series of town hall meetings, and I was surprised. I was at several of those just at the variety of topics that came up. You thought rolling into the budget that would be the focus, but that was not the focus.
You're right. I mean, it did come up a few times, but residents were concerned about housing and traffic conditions. They were concerned about a number of issues, but I think one of the highlights that I received is that they want more engagement of the county. And so I realized, even though we kicked off 4 town hall meetings in a span of a month, that I need to be doing those more, and that residents want to be engaged, but they also want to be informed about the things that we're doing so that they're not surprised, and it gives them a better opportunity to be supportive of things that are happening in their backyards.
Yeah. And I know we're going to probably plan on some more things coming up this fall, so stay tuned. But you know, first we want to get through the Mableton cityhood efforts, and then then we have some transportation issues I know you want to talk about as well.
Yes. We have a referendum plan for 2024, and we can't let the interest or momentum of that wane. We certainly have had some successes this year with the regional project of the top end I-285 project that we've had with our regional partners. And so I'm looking forward to us seeing that if we invest in transportation, that we'll be able to create more opportunities for our residents and for our visitors and for businesses to come here and thrive in Cobb.
Well, I hope you have a restful weekend. Again, we're taping this on Friday,
Yes.
so after this week and this month, you deserve to have some rest. And just on behalf of the county employees, I wanted to thank you about all the efforts you put in for this budget, because as a resident and a county employee, I was pretty concerned about the direction we were going, and I think this is going to help in a big way in keeping us on the track.
I absolutely agree.
Well, thanks for coming by. Once again, it's been a crazy month, but
It has been.
It's coming to an end.
We got through it. We're still here.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ross.